Welcome to a video from thedigital-lifestyle.com. This video I'm going to show you some of my favourite keyboard shortcuts using the Windows key in Windows 10. And we all tend to use the common keyboard shortcuts like Control-C for copy or Control-X for cut and Control-V for paste. But there's actually a ton of useful ones with the Windows key. So in this video I'm just going to tell you some of my favourites. So my first tip is using the Windows key and a number. So, for example, Windows 1, Windows 2, Windows 3. And what this does is if I press Windows 1, it brings up my File Explorer because that's the first window on there. Windows 2 will bring up the Windows Store. Windows 3 will bring up Mail. Windows 4, Terminal, and so on. So if you want to switch to a window, so if I do Windows 1 now, it goes to File Explorer. If I go Windows 2, it goes to the Store, which I can refresh. If I do Windows 4, it brings up my terminal, which looks like it needs a bit of work setting on it, and so on. So it's a really quick, handy way of switching between tasks. So you can see that's first, second, third, and especially if you're like me, you tend to keep these in the same order. It's a great way of bringing those applications up. So that's my first tip: use a Windows key. If you hold down Shift when you do this as well, it brings a new instance. So if I hold that, if I do say Windows 4, that'll bring my command prompt back up, which is already open. So let's go there, do Windows 4, command prompt comes back. If I do Shift Windows 4, get a new instance of the command prompt of the Windows terminal. So really handy way of opening applications and switching to existing ones. So that's my first tip. So I would definitely make a note of those and use those. And of course you can use Windows T as well if you want to cycle between them like that. So you can flip between all the different ones on there as you like using Windows T. So another useful one is Windows A, which brings up Action Center and all your notifications that pop up on there as well. So quite handy if you want to see an action that's come, say if you're going down to the bottom here and clicking. It's all about really meaning you don't have to take your hands off the keyboard. Another one I use quite often is Windows D to show the desktop. It's a quick way of clearing the desktop. Windows E brings up a new Explorer window. And if you want to get into settings, a quick way for that is Windows I, and that'll bring up your settings. If you're a gamer, by the way, don't forget Windows G, which brings up the gaming center on there. Now, if you use a second screen or a Miracast or projecting your PC to another device, you can use the Windows K, and that brings up the Connect screen. I've got a separate video on our YouTube channel how to use a Windows 10 device as a second monitor. If you've got two laptops, you can use second one as a second display, and that's the key screen that you need for that as well. So don't forget that one. Handy one if you're walking away from your machine and you want it to lock. Windows L. I won't do this now because it'll lock my recording session, but don't forget that one. That's a handy one. Another useful one is Windows M. That gets rid of everything. And Windows R if you wanted to get the little old run box on there. If you want to do a quick search for something, Windows S brings up the search box, the same as typing into that box. And if you want to do a little bit more than the basic copy and paste with clipboards, if you do Windows V, you bring up the shared clipboard, and that has a lot. That's one with clipboard history, not just the basic current thing that's in the clipboard, and you can go into settings and enable that. How about this one? Let me open some windows up. Okay, so I've got a couple of windows up, and I do Windows and comma. So it's the same as the old peek thing that you got in Windows Vista. I think it introduced that as well. So Windows and comma, just so you have a quick look at the desktop. Now, if you've got a window that's maybe not resized correctly, you can also use the Windows keys. You can use Windows left, move it to the left. I've moved it right to move it back to center. I'll move it right again to move it over. And you can do full screen or minimized. So you do up for full screen and down for the restored sort of the windowed mode as well. And I find that quite handy for windows that have sort of resized themselves and you can't get back into them. So use that one to sort that out. Also, if you've got dual monitors, I cannot show you this because I'm on a single monitor, but if you've got dual monitors, if you do Windows shift left or Windows shift right, it'll actually move it across to an active monitor, another active monitor. Also useful if you've got a second monitor and it stopped working for you and the things are on the other display. You can kind of use Alt-Tab to select the window you want, and then use the Windows Shift Left to bring it back to your active monitor. So that's a little tip if something gets stuck out there. Now, something else that I found really useful as well, because there's a lot of these. If you install PowerToys, which I'll include a link on the video, you can search for Windows 10 PowerToys, which is Microsoft's open source project for the PowerToys. It harks back to the Windows 95 era when there was all sorts of little tweak tools that came out. And one of PowerToys is if you hold down the Windows key and keep it held down, like this, it shows you the shortcuts, so you can see the temporary peaks on there and the Explorer. All the ones that I've been talking about are on there, even the numbers at the bottom as well. So PowerToys is an excellent tool to use, and there's a new addition as well. As if you do Alt space in PowerToys, you can start searching for applications. So like I can do Edge and start searching like that. Anyway, those are my favourite keys to use. I really do like these shortcut keys. There's a summary of all the ones that I've been talking about using the Windows key. If there's anything else that you think I should be talking about, let me know. You can get me in at thedigital lifestyle.com, at ISTix on Twitter. Thanks for watching.